broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yeah.
Heard that camera over there. Listening to the cloud. I know. Yeah. I just want to let the song play because we all were kind of it was so empowering.
And it's going to be a while until we, hear that music again.
Yes.
It's so good.
Anyways, you guys, we're doing a later episode tonight.
Much later.
Much later for all of us. But it is the mid-season finale of all of our favorite shows, Reign. This is episode 10, Wrath. In a big episode.
Huge
to kind
episode.
of end the year.
Yeah.
A lot happened, a lot of stories. Thankfully, they gave us a resolve to a lot of stories that have been
developing throughout the season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, true.
But hi, I'm your host, Keetin Marchi, and we have a full panel today.
We do.
Phil will be here.
He's coming.
He's coming
soon.
He's coming.
He's handling international business affairs.
He is.
And
He
the crown is keeping his throne warm while he is away. And I'm your other host, Miss Fahnia Thomas.
Yes.
We're Christmas today.
We're
celebrating the holidays. It's the last.
Very coordinated.
We're in the spirit.
We are.
I am not in holiday colors, sadly, but I support that.
You
festive.
do. You support the festive?
I do.
You're very dark over there.
Yeah.
JB is the steward of Phil's crown.
Exactly. Just shining it, giving it a good buff.
Phil says he really relates to Lord Nursey, so I like to call Phil Lord Phil.
There you go.
Lord Philip.
By the way, that was Steve, our engineer. I don't know if he's ever been on with us before.
Steven.
Nope.
Yeah, welcome,
Nice.
Steve.
Yeah,
welcome,
Wow. Whoop, whoop.
And I love right now, you guys. I see that there's some of you guys are in the chat room right now
12
watching.
people
So
watching now.
make sure you tweet at us, and we can kind of see you guys live. Tweet and live comment.
Go to YouTube.
Yes.
Go to AfterBuzz TV's YouTube
if you guys
page.
are
Look
up
for
and
Reign.
listening, watching, totally, that's awesome. We're now streaming live to YouTube, which
Yes.
is like a first.
It is a first. This is exciting. I know.
AfterBuzz,
So
which is
next year
awesome.
will be. This will be every time.
Yeah,
It's a
the
great way
future,
to
right
end
here.
the mid-season finale. A little something special.
Yeah, a little gift for you guys for the holidays. Let's jump into this episode, you guys.
Yeah.
Lots happened.
Lot
And
happened.
the first kind of conversation or topic I really want to talk about is Miss Catherine, who I think she fully jumped on the crazy train tonight.
She's gone cuckoo for Cocoa
I'm
Puffs.
I'm okay with it because it means Alan is back.
Yes.
AKA our favorite Jill, Henry. Oh, I'm so excited.
I literally wrote, Henry's back and shirtless. Like,
Yes!
way to make an entrance.
He is back and in the hottest ways.
Thank you, CW.
Thank you. Alan,
We missed him.
I know we missed Alan. Alan's always so sweet. And we'll get you in studio, Alan, soon. Just let us know when you're in LA.
Yeah, and I wasn't ready. You guys remembered, like, towards the beginning of this season, I wasn't ready for him to be gone. So I'm glad that he's back.
It was a really devastating loss. It hurt a lot. You weren't here last season. You didn't know our obsession with Alan. He is the best, the absolute best. But
Totally. I'm getting that vibe now from you guys that you were fans.
we're like completely fangirling. But before we see Alan come back, we see Catherine again visited by the twins, and this time they kind of gave her an ultimatum.
Yeah.
The threats have been kind of building throughout the season about Claude. And so Catherine has been trying to get rid of Claude. And we see that this has kind of been an ongoing thing between her and Claude, and kind of why their relationship is so bad, because Claude killed her sisters, her younger sisters.
Right? Which was, may I please say it now?
Yeah.
I was right.
You were.
Yes, you were.
I told you guys she killed them little girls.
Just cold-blooded.
I told you. I said she suffocated them, and that's why she pulled out the flowers.
Yep.
No one wanted to believe it. It's harsh.
I
but
believe
sometimes
you.
reality is harsh.
I know.
True story. I was very interested to see that she interacted with them directly. I mean, they held her hand. Obviously,
I would not call that holding her hand. That was hurting her. Like they were like twisting her wrist.
They broke
touched her.
the touch barrier.
Yeah.
Which we haven't seen spirits do that yet.
Right,
No.
right. I mean, it's all sort of been like, the idea of the spirit, like that they sort of piggybacked on, and it was very grounded in reality. I'm interested to see how they sort of move forward. Like, obviously her interaction was with Henry, very physical. So it's interesting. I wonder like how maybe she's dreaming, maybe it's...
Well, because like this whole reckoning thing, that was in the first episode of this season. We see Bash kind of get this warning about the reckoning, and it's kind of fallen off since the conflict with the Protestants and Catholics has kind of become the main storyline. And so it's interesting now to see, as you said, like this interaction, it's starting again. And it's physical. These spirits can hurt people, which is scary. It's like the dark one. It's like this new paranormal threat.
Right. Which
Absolutely.
I liked the whole ghostly aspect that Reign brings, but I'm not quite sure like what it is now. I don't know if it's... And they touched on it a little bit, kind of towards teasing for what's happening on January 22nd. But, I mean, it's kind of like what you said. Is like, are we the spirits now? Or spirit world a part of the natural world? Like, what's going on here? Like, I liked it, but I liked it when it was still, like, the mystique of it all.
Right. And even, with the maid that sort of taunted Francis, that was just an actress, basically, putting on a ruse.
But it's going to be interesting to see if now that Catherine has allowed Henry to stay, which that's what I feel like by her saying, I want you to stay, that gives his spirit the permission to stay. I wonder if he's going to start being like, Catherine, I need you to avenge me now. You avenged the twins by, we don't know, like, because we see this scene of her poisoning Claude. Is Claude dead? Or what has she done to Claude?
She's not dead because
she's
in
not
the teaser
dead.
she was alive and slamming doors. But
what did she do? What did she feed her?
I maybe the elixir didn't work. Her concoctions sometimes fail. This means we've now opened the door for Nostradamus to come back.
Right. Well, it seemed like Bash sort of caught her before it had gone too far. But also, maybe it wasn't a kill you poison. It was just like a sleeping beauty potion.
That's what I thought. I thought it would pass her out and she would ship her off.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Come on, Catherine. There's easier ways to like handle this than just killing Claude. You don't need to kill her.
Right. But then when the twins were standing there nodding their head, like yes, I was thinking,
God, she's done.
Yeah.
Those little girls are creepy.
It was, yeah.
Kind of cool though.
But I mean, another scene that we saw before Claude kind of kicks, I mean, she doesn't kick the bucket, but before kind of Catherine and Claude have this whole scene about forgive me, I'm gonna kill you type thing, we see Kenna and Claude kind of have an interaction. I think that's a little bit of a foreshadowing for maybe a love triangle to come back into effect, because then we see, obviously Bash is the knight in shining armor when Claude passes out, and Kenna just happens to walk around the corner and
bad timing.
See what's going on. So, but we see kind of Kenna saying, why are you being like this to your mom? Like, you need to be a better person. Like, kind of, because Kenna at first was trying to get Claude's approval.
Right.
At first she wanted to be Claude's friend, but now I think she's like frenemies.
I definitely.
It's very mean girlsy in the castle at currently.
It is, and I don't think she wants her approval as much anymore.
I don't think she cares.
Yeah, I think she's kind of. It's done. Like, she's reached out, and I think she's exhausted. So,
well, I think now kind of just like you need to be like watch yourself.
Well, now I think she's treading on her territory just a little bit, because she's going to find out that her and Bash had relations, and that's her man.
Knows that.
So, well, in the teaser again, I keep hating to go back to the teaser.
She's gonna throw it in her face.
Well, she says
for
it.
Sure.
She says, I think you should know that I slept with Bash. So.
Yeah, just bam.
Yep.
Drop
slams the door.
We're gonna get, I'm glad that we saw more Kenna. Kenna's kind of disappeared for a little bit, a lot of this season. So.
The ladies played
Very
like
sad.
the back scene a lot.
Well, Lola played a huge part.
Everyone but Lola. You're right. Yeah, everyone kind of faded to the back.
But yeah, Greer and Kenna, did kind of fade to the back. But so with Catherine's story, so Claude, she's drugged. This concoction didn't work. Catherine has now invited Henry back into her life. The spirit of Henry, but a very sexy, physical spirit. It's like ghosts. Like I was expecting them to like start like making some pottery or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll get that scene for the second half of the season.
I was also thinking maybe Catherine is sort of going mad. I mean, we saw Henry sort of went down that path. Maybe Francis is beginning that. All the signs sort of are adding up to nothing good for Catherine.
Yeah.
She poisoned her kid after seeing these sort of phantoms that she was like sort of building up. Same thing happened with Henry, sort of at the end of his life. He was seeing his brother a lot.
I think that's a great point. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I mean, I think it's like funny to. Not funny, but it's, Catherine's going crazy too. But Catherine's always just been such a steadfast and kind of rock and somewhat of a rock. And always, she's just she always knows what she needs and what she wants to do and she does it. Right. So for her to be on edge, that scares me.
Right. She always seems to be in control.
Yeah, she's so in control.
And I kind of like that she's out of control because it's almost like a different side of her. Almost, I want to say a softer side. Like when they were in bed, at first I was like, yes, Henry's hot. And then I was looking and I was like, no, that's like watching my parents have sex. Wait a minute. Like it got a little, because I see Catherine as this motherly figure who takes care of business. She's nurturing. She's always in control. She's never, outside of herself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's always like got it together and she's always doing something and has a mission. So to see her be vulnerable, it was like, oh, okay, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's nice to see the different sides to Catherine, for sure.
Well, because nobody else is seeing these ghosts yet, except Catherine. Because the one that Francis thought he was, Bash and Catherine now are the only two that have seen these ghosts. Because the one that Francis thought he was seeing was not real, or listening to, right?
Right.
So the only two who have seen actual ghosts is Bash and
Catherine, and obviously Henry.
Henry
Claude
saw the
didn't
ghost.
see the girls when she got slapped. Which I thought was like, oh, okay. She really checked her.
Don't mess with Catherine.
Yeah,
Kenna knows. You don't mess with Catherine.
A strong pimp hand.
But then she
oh my God.
She does.
Hashtag strong pimp hand.
That's funny.
Megan Fallis is a strong pimp hand.
If you notice, Claude follows in her mother's footsteps because she served it right back to her.
They're very similar.
Yeah, she served it back. So she's learned a lot from her mom, even though she just hasn't spent much time with her, which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see where Catherine and Claude's storyline go, and I'm so happy that Henry is back, even if he's just a sexy ghost. Let's move on to Castleroy, Greer, and Leith. We got Leith back this week. I was so excited.
I feel like you're gonna get your wish of that triangle, like moving back to where it was with Leith and Greer. No,
Well,
the door is definitely open for that possibility.
The door is absolutely open. So, obviously, Castleroy and Greer, or Castleroy had given money to this so-called school that the Protestants were supposedly building just to help the realm and help France. That money, unbeknownst to Castleroy, was actually going to this rebellion, so he can technically be thrown in prison and accused and killed. Not looking good for Castleroy. Paper trail. And very early on in this episode, we see Leith going to warn Greer and saying, "You and Castleroy need to get out of here. It's just a matter of time before somebody drops Castleroy's name, and he's going to be thrown into prison, and you could potentially be thrown into prison. And Francis is going crazy. People are dying."
It's getting real.
Hide your kids, hide your wives.
Yeah, seriously.
No, yeah, I love that Leith is back. I'm sad to see Castleroy go. I think this is it for him. I think he's, he said that go ahead.
I'm glad they didn't kill him.
Me too. He's too sweet.
He's so sweet.
Right. It leaves the possibility that he could come back. If he does, I think it's going to be a very small interaction, I think they're definitely going to move back to the Leith Greer thing.
I love how he, used his favor for the woman that he loves, other husband.
Like,
Yeah, it was a very selfless act.
Sweet.
For sure.
Yeah, like
He's like, oh, I was like, JB was watching it with me, and I was just like fawning over the TV, like, Leith is such a sweetheart. Look at you. He was just, that's such a noble thing to do.
It is.
Like, because and it shows that he does truly love Greer for all the right reasons. Like, he did that, he used that favor so that she would be safe.
Right.
That's why he did it. He put aside all the pettiness and any jealousy he might have for Castleroy. He just was like, you know what? The woman I love needs to be safe. So that there's still those strong, strong feelings there.
I love that.
Right. Because, as she sort of kind of threw in Castleroy's face, like, if he doesn't convert, then he does drag her down with him. If him being away from everything and the persecution that's going on definitely does keep her kind of role and everything, her reputation intact.
Yeah, and I'm glad Castleroy is not going to fight Greer on this. I'm glad that he's kind of being like, because it shows that his love for her too. Like, he's going to leave because she's right. Greer is right. Like, he can't stay. Because if he stays, it not only puts him in danger and her in danger, it puts his entire family in danger.
Right.
And she can't leave right now, especially after what she found out happened to Mary. Mary needs her friends, and
Right.
Greer needs to stay, and she can't run. Nor do I think Greer wants to convert. She's been fighting
Already
that
on the
conversion.
run. Yeah, and that's a hard
She doesn't
life
want to live that
for
life.
sure.
No.
I think that's more so the point that she doesn't want to convert. I don't think Mary needs her. Mary has, Lola, she has Kenna, she has Frances, she has Catherine, she has Condi, she has Bash. Like, I don't think she needs her. I think she was using that as kind of like an excuse to stay. I think that there may be something more to it, that she doesn't want to convert. Maybe she does want to see what could happen with her and Leith. I just think that Mary, when she said it, I was just like,
Just, I don't know.
There was
Stretching
a
it little
twin
bit.
of like, I don't know if like that's the full reason. I think the biggest reason is I think it's the conversion reason. I think she is Catholic through and through, and like, because it was such a struggle for her when that was first kind of brought up to her about converting, and she just kind of had to swallow her pride. She's like, I'm going to do it for my husband because he's been so kind to me. And after this, I think she doesn't even trust the Protestants. So I think that religion kind of scares her a little bit. Just because that religion probably to her, thinking from Greer's mind, like, that's what did the terrible thing to not only my queen, but one of my best friends. Like, just, it's not cool to blame the religion, but like in her mind, like it's so fresh, what
it
happened.
probably equals death to her, because right now what Francis is doing, what he was doing in the beginning was, let's kill all the Protestants, essentially, like, bring them up here, hang them. So I could understand why she would be like, I don't want to convert right now. It's probably not the best time. It's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
Not the best time. Yeah. Well, even when Leith went to Francis, I was a little scared for him. We saw a very scary, like, last week it was kind of a joke when Francis kind of went all nuts.
Yeah.
But this week, no, he went straight up crazy.
Yeah, he went off the deep end.
He did, and it was real.
He bossed up. Like, essentially, he bossed up and became a king in this episode, finally. I think we've been pushing for that because he's been being played by Narcisse. So I think he finally was like, I'm going to be a king. I don't know if his choice was so on point. Because you just can't kill everybody.
Well, and it's like he's just going to the exact opposite of what he was. I mean, they were fighting for so long not to be like Catherine and Henry, not to be these cruel, fearful leaders. But I think he doesn't see any other way at this point. And I think that's the only other way he knows. He either knows that way or the way him and Mary were trying, and the way him and Mary were trying wasn't working.
Well, that's because it was just him.
Yeah.
He wasn't working with Mary, and I think that was kind of his downfall, and obviously what led up to what happened to Mary. But at the point when his mom even was like, questioning, like, hey, what are you doing? Like, you just can't hang the whole, what was it, the East realm of 12 people. You just can't do that.
Yeah,
you know, let's
consequences.
stop. Yeah, let's stop and think about this. Once you go there, you can't. There's no coming back from that. So for someone like Queen Catherine to be like the one that's saying,
like pump the brakes, Francis.
So
that's when you know you've really gone.
And
overboard.
he did a great job again. Like he really took it there. Like his acting was on point. It was phenomenal.
He was good, and those scenes between that scene especially between him and Narcisse, like. This is the thing. When he came into Narcisse, I feel like Narcisse is a bigger guy than Francis. So I don't know if if in hand-to-hand combat, Francis could have really beat the crap out of Narcisse. And so I would have put my money on Narcisse. But then he started doing it, and in the words that came with it, and the feeling of why he was hitting Narcisse and why he had I was like, okay, I believe it. You got me. I'm good. I'm good. You don't have to convince me anymore.
Narcisse was clearly sleeping,
right.
So maybe he's not a morning person. I don't know.
I don't know.
When he put the sword down and they were fist fighting, I really was like, oh no, this is not a fair fight. Wait a minute.
I mean, they had surrounded the barn with all Francis's guards, so it was a lose situation for Narcisse.
And you would also think that Narcisse, if you even try to defend yourself at this point against the king, you got even more blood, even more reason for Francis to just be off with his head type of thing. But I think it is a very smart decision for Francis to be you're worth more to me alive than dead, and some things are worse than death. I love those kind of different lines, and I like that the tables have now turned because Narcisse was playing Francis like a frickin' puppet this entire season.
And I changed after, I don't know how many episodes I've been saying I want Narcisse to die. I changed my mind.
Yay.
I want him alive and to be
great.
tortured.
Whoa. Oh, that's happening.
Right.
That will
I now
happen.
okay, I can get down with this. I can get down with him not killing him, okay? I can get down with him being in the dungeon being tortured.
I feel like
you're freaking me out a little bit. I want him to pay.
Well, I mean, he needs to because essentially,
he's gonna
his fault
atone
for everything.
some things for sure.
Exactly, and they have this conversation. Catherine and Francis are Mary and Francis. Essentially, when Mary needed him, Francis wasn't there. And he was constantly talking about, I'm going to protect you, I'm doing this to protect you. When it really mattered, he wasn't there. And it's for reasons of his own that he caused, trying to clean up his own mess, not working as a team, which is what you do when you're in a relationship. You work as a team, and she was constantly let me help you. What's going on? Let's do this together. But he wanted to do his own thing.
But can I? I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and somebody brought this up on the comments on our YouTube page, is that Mary kind of started this. Mary was the one who killed Narcisse's son and set Narcisse off. So...
Okay.
I'm not saying that Francis dug himself a real deep grave and had a lot of chances to get out of it, but Mary kind of set the spark to the fire that has now burnt down this relationship.
Right.
I can see that.
Not only that, she sort of
she did that
with Catherine. They tried to kill Henry, and they did not tell Francis about that.
Yeah.
So had they succeeded, would they have, would it have been different? Would they have told Francis?
Well, because Catherine was so when they made that decision to try to kill Henry, Catherine was like, "You must not tell. Francis must not know."
Ooh, okay.
So, you know what? Nobody's hands are kind of clean in this scenario.
No,
right.
your hands will never be clean when you're ruling an empire.
I just think Mary kind of has now. She's the one who's kind of gotten the worst effect from everything that has gone down.
Absolutely, hands down.
Yeah.
And had they started working together sooner, none of it. Well, obviously, none of this would have happened. There wouldn't be a show.
Yeah, well, we love the Reign writers for the storylines they are giving us.
No, yeah, they're keeping us I'm on the edge of my seat right now, Literally, seriously.
I was screaming at the TV multiple times tonight, and just it was such a good episode, and I just love when they gave us enough to kind of cleanse our palates,
Right.
and like I'm okay that it's not coming back till January 22nd because you wrapped up enough stories, but then you gave enough, like just a few questions that I'm like, ooh, I can't wait till it comes back.
I can't wait.
I
want it
cannot.
now. I want to know
Wait.
why is she wearing that white dress? What's up with Condi? Like,
Well,
when his
do you want to talk
came-
about them? Talk about his brother. We can talk
Are
about.
we done with Francis and the Protestants and Narcisse? Because
Well, so Francis, I mean, he was just randomly killing Protestants because he now wants to become a king all about fear.
did you guys agree with him wanting the prisoners to freeze when he's like, let them freeze?
I mean, I
No.
probably would have had people bring out like blankets or something. I mean, it's still easy to
Really?
do. Like if they're gonna be outside, like maybe a blanket so they don't die. You know,
I was
they
like,
can still
hell.
suffer and like get the message.
I was like, hell yeah, let them freeze. You shouldn't have climbed your asses over this wall to kill
Yikes!
us. I'm so sorry.
Do not cross Fahnia.
No,
But
ladies and
no, but not
gentlemen.
all of them, you guys. Not all of them were involved in that. They just started rounding up Protestants.
I thought that Bash had said,
Most of the majority of them had been a part of the retaliation or the
they stormed the castle.
yes, but not all of them. I think they just started gathering Protestants, and that's
Right.
why
That's
everybody
why they
was
grabbed
so scared.
Castleroy
Yeah.
and-
That I don't agree with. Well, that was before Castleroy. I thought it was the ones that climbed the wall and tried to who did penetrate the castle, freeze, die. You shouldn't have climbed the wall. Like, you're prisoners. There's no sympathy in war and with prisoners.
Again, she scares me, ladies
fair
and
enough.
gentlemen. I do not want Fahnia leading my.
great ruler, okay?
Let them die.
I mean, for all the
Let them
Protestants,
freeze.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to protect you. Don't bring your ass over into my house and expect to get a blanket. What? You're trying to kill me and I'm supposed to give you a blanket? What kind of mess is this?
fair enough. Okay, for all the Protestants that committed the B&E,
Yeah.
they can free. Less sympathy towards their temperature.
Freeze the
thing.
Protestants!
But I mean, obviously Castleroy, they just busted down his door
Right,
and
that I didn't agree with. I don't
So-
agree with collecting everybody and a manhunt. That no. I don't want to mince words here. But let's talk about Condi and how much cuter he is than his brother. No,
I'm sorry. I'm just reading all the comments. This
no
is really cool.
he
Somebody-
was so. You didn't see his.
I saw both of them, but
oh my
I don't have
gosh.
a preference.
I think. Do you think Condi's cuter than his
Oh my!
brother?
Can I just tell you, Conde is one of the best actors on the show. He is so hot. I
love him.
I'll say
oh my
he's a good actor.
gosh,
He is
he's a
good.
great actor,
The
and
reacting.
Yes,
It's all about
he
reacting.
is. And I
It's
loved
cool.
how, again, it's him and Mary together, saving the day, kicking ass. I loved it when Mary was in there and she set him on. I guess I do sound like I would just don't care about anybody. When she lit him on fire and it started in his pants, I was like, that's so on point, CW. Come on. That was on point.
I just really.
Yeah, she straight up burned him.
Yeah.
I really liked
crazy.
them working together and seeing them working together and just being. I mean, Mary wasn't being very honest with him, but
Not at first.
It almost reminded me of how Mary, when her and Bash were working together.
Yeah.
It seemed a little wrong, but it's so wrong and maybe it's right.
No, seriously. It's
That's what it reminded me of. The chemistry between those two was reminded me of her when she had a relationship with Bash, and just how he is willing. He doesn't have to worry about a crown. He loves her, and so he listens to her, and he does what she needs or he thinks she needs.
Now, does he not want the crown? Because when his brother came, I
Oh,
know.
He does. Well, yeah, I think he came from a family where that was the mission, and now that he's sort of been doing it, he kind of fell in love with Mary, and maybe his motivations have changed a bit, and that's why he's sort of pulling back and being like, I can't
Okay.
go through with it because of how he feels.
Because he loves Mary now. I
Right.
thought it was really suspect. I was just like,
He's always after the married women.
Is
That's
that
his
what
thing.
he's? Oh, I guess so.
That's his forte.
He's got a thing for the married women. And if you want to see more of Conde's acting, you can see him in the Red Tent, which was a great miniseries on Lifetime, and it was a great book. So you should read the book too. They're talking about it in the chat room.
Nice.
Hey, that's
I love this
awesome.
chat room. This is great.
Shout out some names.
Let's shout out some names. Okay,
Yeah.
Carrie's T, Danielle Heggie. I'm so sorry if I'm saying anything of these wrong. Dorian Harbison.
What are they saying though? Like,
Well, they're talking about Conde. They're like,
Yes.
Conde is smoking, yeah. Conde Sai, oh my God, sexy. Brie Gallardo. New Rule. Ashley Queen. Oh, she's on Twitter all the time.
yes,
all the
and
time.
his name is
Nice.
Sean Teal, the actor that plays Condi. Yes.
Chantel. Thank you, Danielle. Am I saying it right, Danielle? Is it just Danielle? I hope.
And we've
Danielle Heggie?
tweeted at him actually to get him on the show, Mr. Sean Teal, to come on.
Nice, yeah. I mean,
Yes.
any guest would be awesome.
Everybody
for
should
sure.
tweet at him and say that he
Yes.
should come on. It's hard because they're shooting in Canada. So as soon as shooting wraps, like a lot of them will come down to LA for pilot season and like more auditions and stuff. Sometimes
okay.
that's when we had Torrance in here last season, and same with Jonathan Keltz, who plays Leith.
So pilot season isn't until
The spring.
Oh, man.
So, but who knows if anybody is just making trips down here, doing some press stuff. Let's get them in studio.
Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work. We have power in numbers.
The guy who plays Conde is 22 years old? No way. Elisa Galvin just said that. Oh my God.
Wow.
He does look so much older. I love this. Hi guys. Kind of rule. I hope I'm saying your name right. Okay. Is there anything else, you guys? Is there anything else you want us to talk about on? Let us
after
know.
show
Yeah,
right
on the after
now.
show right now. Is there anything you think we left out? This is great.
us
You
know.
guys can just check us.
I want to know, how did you guys feel about Mary telling the ladies about what happened to her?
Oh, I mean, you need to tell your friends. Mm-hmm. Like, I think she was so stoic about it, though, and so strong in that delivery, and just, you know what, like, it's something that happened. We're gonna move past it. I mean, and in that time when she was saying that she and Francis, because I think we need to talk about that when Francis was finally honest with Mary. We haven't talked about that.
Right.
And told her the truth about why all this happened, which I said last week, I didn't think he was going to actually be honest with her about that. But
Right.
it was kind of nice to see him very quickly say, you know what? I feel guilty. This is what was going on. I should have told you. And I couldn't get from her reaction whether she was like, I'm okay with this, like I understand, or if she was angry with him, or if she just didn't know how to feel. I think it was probably she just didn't know how to feel at that moment. But then when she talked to her ladies, it sounded like she was like, Francis is gonna kill him, and so we're gonna be okay, and everything will go back to normal.
Right.
Not so fast, Mary.
I think she was going through the motions of, such of a tragedy. I was really surprised that she told the ladies. I feel like it was
Right.
supposed to be a secret, and in order to keep something a secret, you have the less people you tell. So it kind of was like, I get you need your friends, but the more people you tell, the more chit chatter and talk that starts
Right,
to
the
happen, and the
rumors and
cat gets
everything.
out of the bag. You know what I mean? So now, the ladies know, Condi knows, Catherine knows, and obviously Francis knows. So
Right.
I'm just curious how this is going to unfold.
Bash doesn't know though.
He does not.
not-
Somebody
as of
mentioned
yet.
it on on
Yeah.
the thing a while ago, but yeah, Bash is kind of like the one main character that does not know. And for Conde to know before Bash,
I don't think Bash really needs to know. I mean, Conde is, in love with Mary. Bash, has moved on. Maybe he did at a time, but he definitely doesn't now. I think that there's no need to yell something like that. That's that personal, like on the top of a mountain,
Yeah.
so like everybody can hear.
In time,
But, yeah.
you'll
But
find
at
out.
the same time, the truth will set you free. I think there are. That's sort of the first step to moving forward from something that tragic that's happened, is sort of accepting it and being able to talk. I mean, with your close personal group.
Right.
but I do understand Mary not wanting, obviously, the entire kingdom
Oh,
to know
no,
about it,
absolutely
because she's
not.
like,
That's
what?
not
That's
their
what
business,
surprised
for sure.
me, that she told 3 other people, because at the end of the day, there's going to come a point in time where they have to look out for themselves. Like, we're slightly seeing this with Greer and Castleroy, where they could have been in jeopardy, and partially a little bit with Lolo when she was flirting with Narcisse. There's going to come a point where they might have to defend themselves and look out for themselves. So this might be a valuable piece of information that they could use against her. So I'm just curious to see how it's going to unfold.
Yeah, I think they're more valuable to her as a support system. I mean, you can't run the world by yourself, so I think that she really needs, especially right now, because it's so fresh, like the
Right.
feelings and emotions. You know, she does need help, like talking about it, and they can sort of
Well, and
take it together.
And Mary thought a huge part, like step in that kind of healing process would be seeing these men killed
Right.
and brought to justice. And she realizes very quickly after her and Conde end up going into deciding to go after these men themselves because there is no time. And I did love seeing Mary kind of pull out the knife, like, "Boy, I got it.
Yeah,
I got it.
I'm
Don't you worry
ready.
about
Let's
me. I'm ready to
cut some throats."
Yeah. You know, and for those two to go in, and she first of all, she not only gets to look him in the eye and tell him off, and like, you know, and like be the strong, you know, this has done nothing to me, and you will be erased from history. Like the way she does that, and like we will publicly, you know, kill you.
Badass.
Whatever. It was pretty badass. But then, he kind of continues to spit on her, which was absolutely disgusting.
I wanted her to spit him back and kick him in the head. Like I wanted one of those.
Well, she
like,
did. She just kind of threw fire. She's like,
Yeah,
boom.
she burned him alive. I think she got him back.
While he was talking, I wanted her to like spit back and like, you know how when someone's on the ground and you kick him, like it's a sucker move, but like
Kick him
he
when
was
he's down?
talking, you know, he was talking all that mess. I wanted her.
Just let them freeze, and then just kick them while they're
Exactly.
down.
Fahnia is
Burn
going
them
crazy
alive.
tonight, you guys. I'm scared sitting next to her. It's the holiday season, and she's like angry. I don't even know
I just
why.
want vengeance. Like he needed to suffer a little bit. Like you don't talk to her like that. Like you know, and you want to spit. Like spitting is so
Right.
like, ugh. Like it's just so low class. I don't know, but that's what I
Well,
wanted.
Mary didn't spit because
Right.
she's a queen, and she's
Right,
not low
that's an
class.
interesting point. I mean, I think that there are certain crimes where they should suffer more than just death. Like it's so heinous that you should be incarcerated for a longer period of time and have to live with that.
Torture.
But at the same time, sometimes it is so bad where it's like you do not deserve like the right to breathe.
Yeah.
Like you should be eliminated.
But he didn't feel like he did anything wrong.
Eliminated.
We saw that. Like,
Right.
and I think as soon as Mary saw that too, she was just like, "Well,
I think it's
screw
like
you then.
so
Bye."
crazy because he even when confronted with what happened, he still was like, "Yep, I'm happy that I did that."
Yeah.
and admitted to like other people and wanted it known. So that is so like aggressively.
It is.
Like
And I think that was a straw that broke the camel's back when
Exactly.
she was like, "All right, here goes some fire in your pants. Take that." Literally, his pants were on fire.
I know.
Right.
It was really. It was kind of. I mean, as a viewer, I was glad that Mary did have that moment, but as we saw very quickly in that scene between her and Francis, when kind of it's almost as if their marriage has come to an end.
she said it.
She said she thought it was gonna change things,
I
and it
know,
just
I can't
hasn't,
believe
and she doesn't think she
they're on
can
a
go
break.
back.
This
They're
is
not
no
on a
good.
break. They're on a,
they're like
like-
a
To
trial
Mary,
separation
this is
right
this
now.
is done. It's like we will be king and queen, and you know,
I will just have the title. We'll
Yeah, but that's
essentially
it.
just be like Catherine and Henry.
Yeah.
Which is,
which
what
breaks
they were
worst.
fighting
really,
so hard
ugh.
not to become. They were trying to do it differently. And unfortunately, they let the throne and all of, the responsibilities of being king and queen kind of take over all of that. So I hope we see that turned around because I'm rooting for them.
I want that.
I mean, I am.
No, I am as well. I'm team royal, like
Bros.
people. Yeah.
Which we still haven't gotten the
Bros.
T-shirts, so hopefully we'll have them by. We will definitely
Yeah,
have them by
Samantha.
January
I think it's
25th.
Phil's
Hopefully.
fault.
I think it's Phil's fault too, so it's not your fault. We
be,
appreciate you
could
sending
be.
them, but we will wear them as soon as we have them in our hands. We're blaming Phil, who is still not here.
Yeah, it's a little suspect.
Am I
A
not
little
enough?
Guess what?
suspect.
Let him
Am I
freeze.
not enough?
Yes. Let him freeze outside.
Let him
It is raining, by the way.
So, and then the last kind of scene, after the scene between Mary and Francis, which was I thought it was very powerful, great acting from the both of them, and it was sad. It was really, really sad to kind of see this relationship that we've watched grow, we've watched go through lots of different ups and downs, but always kind of come out on top, and them always finding a way to make it work. Kind of them, Mary. I don't think Francis was ready to give up.
No, he
but
said it.
Mary, yeah. Mary's
he's
giving
gonna
I
up.
keep fighting.
think, this whole half of the season has been Mary trying to get Francis to, work with her, be present in their relationship, let's work on stuff together. Now I see the second half sort of going the other way. She's going to be, the one sort of wanting her own space, and he's going to want to repair things. So it might be an interesting sort of dichotomy there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, go ahead.
I was gonna move on to the letter.
Ooh,
letter?
Conde's
Sunday
letter?
letter, the last scene.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you want to say something
No.
important about that first?
No.
So we thought Conde's letter had gone down with the ship, basically, with the guy who was killed, who was carrying it to give it to Mary when Conde was fleeing because he didn't want his love for the Queen to interfere with anything else. Turns out the letter has survived, and one of Mary's ladies ends up giving it to her. And now Conde is there to stay. Conde does not know that Mary knows
Has the letter.
that she has a letter, and Conde has confessed his love to her.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that Conde didn't have a run-in with Claude, because that would have been awkward. I know I said I was leaving, but
That's right.
something came up.
I never.
I gotta go though.
She did say that she was supposed to. She had 2 suitors to marry. Now she has none.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
now she could be dead. She's not dead, but she has a mother who's trying to kill her, and if her mother doesn't kill her, her dead twin sisters, who she killed, will kill her. And I wonder if she even remembers
Kenna
that
could
she
be
killed
coming
them.
at her.
I
too.
don't think Kenna's a lover, not a fighter. We all know this. Come on.
Yes.
But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But before we get into predictions, can I do Castle Corner?
Yeah, and while you get ready for
Yeah,
Castle Corner,
Castle
I'm
Corner,
going to
let's
shout
do it.
out our YouTube comment. Elena Cochran. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name, but homegirl, you are spot on. She said about the show last week, this is really cute. She said, I love this after show. And that's not why I'm reading this one, but I know it sounded weird.
It does help.
It sounded
though.
weird.
It does
We
help.
love the love
do.
because we love you guys.
You guys are my favorite hosts. I love
We're
you.
not.
and
That's
I-
the wrong one.
And I think the show was heavy. She had
Yes.
to go get in bed with her. She cuddled with her mom. But that's not why. What she said was, what she was spot on is, I think Mary will push Francis away, but in the end, it will bring them closer.
I hope
So she
she's
was right.
You were
She
right.
was right. Mary did push Francis away. So get it, girl.
Okay, so
2 snaps.
Yeah.
2 snaps. I agree. I love the comments, you guys. I love it. Keep them coming, and we can keep discussing rain through this rain drought
go
that
to
we're gonna
iTunes,
have. We're literally
Yes,
gonna have a
we
rain
are.
drought.
Yeah, go to iTunes, go to YouTube, like us,
Hashtag
follow.
rain drought. I like that.
iTunes
Comments.
vote,
We
give us
need
5
us.
stars.
Yes,
we love it.
we
We love
need
it. We
you.
love it. So for Castle Corner this week,
Castle Corner.
Castle Corner. I wanted to go to our. Actually, our beautiful location for Reign that they shoot. It's called Ashford Castle. It's in Ireland. It's actually a luxury hotel now, but they shoot the exterior shots for French Court here.
Yeah, so
And
you can stay
you can
there.
see it. You can see kind of. This is kind of a picture of it. You can see kind of that trellis that Mary kind of has stood on.
So
yeah.
wait,
Courtyard. Yeah.
you can sleep there?
Yes. Oh my God. So rooms start at $450 a night. If you go to the next picture, Stephen, you can see the rooms. Okay, you guys, this place is Ireland's first school of falconry, which
Whoa.
you know the people with the
Yes.
falcons. Yep, that's
How
what
much
that
does
is.
it cost to stay?
Starting at $450 a night. Regular
It's a
hosts to
castle.
royalty,
You gotta
dignitaries,
treat
and
yourself
celebrities.
every once in a while.
350
royalty.
Yeah,
acres of
exactly.
ancient woodland, fine Irish cuisine, and fish fresh from the low. And complimentary Wi-Fi throughout. So,
Oh, wow.
and the castle was actually built. The first parts of the castle was built. And if you go to the next picture, Stephen, you can see kind of Reign, the crew of Reign shooting on location. This is a picture of them shooting a scene, a bunch of the crew and the extras and the actors. But the castle was built in 1228 by the Anglo-Norman House of Burke. It has been expanded for centuries and is now a 5-star luxury hotel. And it was actually also once owned by the Guinness family. which is pretty cool. But it's huge now. You guys can go stay basically at French Court if you want to and spend $450 a night. I want to go stay. I think all of AfterBuzz should get a free room because we're giving you a huge shout out. So hook us up here. But it looks beautiful, and I'd be interested to hear from kind of the cast if you guys actually got to stay here while you shot here. Because it's stunning. It's so pretty. Go to their website. I now know where I want a honeymoon. It's at this castle. It's so cool. But yeah, so Ashford Castle, you guys. That's the end of Castle Corner. Last Castle Corner for this year. Yay!
Nice.
And we forgot to touch on this. Shout out to the CW wardrobe because Catherine's gold and black sparkly robe situation that she had on was to die for. And I'm so sorry to all you PETA lovers, but that fur she was rocking in the opening scene when they were outside was fierce.
It could have been faux.
Hopefully it was. It was like to die. So thank you, CW Wardrobe, for always giving us visual stimulation.
It's a docu-series.
Right, JB?
So that's what they wore. The royalty is down.
I know, there's this one shot with...
And, people were freezing. They gotta stay safe.
Yeah, that's what they wore back then. They wore fur.
I don't know, but shout out, not only to the wardrobe department, but to the writers, to the crew of Reign, to the actors. I know we talk about the actors all the time, but everybody involved with Reign, this has been such a great year to watch that show, and I love it, and so thank you for all the work that you guys put into it, and I can't wait for next year to start watching it, to continue to watch it. January 22nd. Do you guys want to get into predictions?
Yes.
Let's do it.
And if you guys tell me some of your predictions on the chat right now, and I will share them after we share our predictions. JB,
prediction.
Oh God. I think Catherine is gonna go crazy mentally, and we're gonna have to deal with her sort of messing things up around the castle. Her role has sort of fallen to the back. This season she hasn't really had a place other than pseudo advisor to Francis a little bit. She helps here and there, but I think she's really becoming a more villainous. Maybe not that, but just more of a problem, a conflict for the characters.
I think she's become a huge rock for Mary now.
She will.
Okay.
You can make your own predictions.
Oh, I'm sorry. Whoa.
You're talking about my predictions.
Stay in your lane.
Catherine's gonna be a problem. And not one that they can easily overcome because she is Francis's mom. They can't kill her.
Right.
It's not like King Henry where he's making moves to destroy everything. It's sort of just a personal problem for the king and queen, and that's why I think they're gonna have to deal with that. Maybe she is seeing things. I think there's been a real reason for everything supernatural in the show so far. I don't think they're gonna stray from that. So I think that it's more. I think that she's just going a little crazy.
There wasn't really a real reason for the dark one.
The darkness?
Yeah, the darkness.
Right, but that was a guy pretending to be more than a man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Evil
I don't know.
Batmaning.
it was something that people to believe in and to fear. It was,
Right,
it was almost
creating
a system of control.
Exactly, it was a.
I predict.
It was a legend, if you will.
Yes, I predict again that Mary is going to be preggers by this unfortunate situation.
No. I hate that.
And that Catherine is. I feel like Catherine is either going to go into maybe a deep sleep or coma type situation, and that's where she's having all of these interactions with Henry and the twins. I don't know. I just kind of totally came up with that right now, and that's all I got.
Nice, get inspired.
She's going crazy too, guys.
Seriously.
I think that this Henry ghost is going to start whispering in Catherine's ear that she needs to kill Francis, and I think that's going to be a huge conflict for Catherine, because obviously Francis is kind of her golden boy, and her she's a mama bear, that's her baby bear, and that's one person you don't touch. So I think it's going to be a huge struggle for her coming up, and I think Mary and Conde are gonna probably get it on.
Really?
And I think I think that Greer and Leith are going to be back to
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, because Castleroy is gone. Okay, I'm going to read some of the predictions that we have. Let's see. Dorian Harbison, I predict Mary and Conde having a flingish situation, but Mary will go back to Francis because we still have the Nostradamus vision of him dying. You are right. And Mary was in bed with him when that happens. Let's see, what else?
Going back full circle. I like that.
Oh, no.
And shout out to the 28 people that are watching right now.
I know, you guys are awesome.
It's 12:45 a.m.
Yeah.
So thanks for being up with us.
Awesome, guys. That's true
And mind
fans
you,
right
we
there.
started at 12, so we've doubled. So we appreciate you guys being up with us.
Maybe Mary had a way to use the letter. I mean, maybe she would fake a scandal with Conde. That's from Nurul Assi Queen. I think I hope I'm
Interesting.
saying this right. Yes, I like that.
That's what's up. Let's keep the conversation going on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes, because we'll
Yeah.
keep.
And Twitter.
Wait,
And Twitter.
I have a prediction.
iTunes? Yeah,
I have
another,
one.
yes.
I have another one. So Conde is because he's like his brother. We heard the voice of his brother being like, "I need you to like start something with the Queen." So I'm wondering if Conde is now going to start working against Mary. I don't know,
Ooh, maybe.
or maybe just against Francis.
Crazy. Scandal.
I don't know. Maybe.
Dun. Something has
Yeah.
to happen because his brother has arrived at court, so he's just not there to hang out.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
We'll see. The plot thickens.
this is our last after show of the year for Reign. I'm very sad.
So sad.
Okay, guys, where can we find you until then?
You guys can find me at JB_Zimmerman on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes, and for the Reign support group, you can find me at Fahnia Thomas on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
You guys can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Keetin Marchi, and obviously YouTube. We comment, and if you guys want to send us anything, there's the AfterBuzz PO box. It's on our website, but I'll tweet it out again. Somebody said they're going to send me a book of castles. I would love that. I would love a book
We
of
will totally
castles.
put that on. Yeah, that's perfect.
Love it. Thank
Love
you
it.
guys.
I know, because you're like, why are you asking me what to send?
It's like we're asking for gifts now.
We love you guys. Happy holidays.
Happy New Year.
Not necessarily.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.